Okay.
It's now on and I can go back to share. Hello, everyone. I'm John. If you don't know me, John Zavos, the director of Mesh. And I've lost my slides. There it is. Yeah. Okay, so welcome. And thanks for coming. What are we going to do? Well, we want to explore revised websites, Learning English in Yorkshire and Humber and Learning English Plus, and share them with you. About a year ago, we floated the idea with Migration Yorkshire, our core funders, of refreshing the site design and structure. And they have since agreed to fund that. Thanks to Migration Yorkshire for doing that. It is the first full review, refresh, and restructure of our core websites, Learning English Yorkshire and Humber and Learning English Plus, since they were first launched, actually so YH was first launched in 2019. We've had lots of expansion and development since that time, but basically we've used the same template and the same look since that point. So this refresh and restructure of the core websites and the resource, it really tries to address the need to update the site for the contemporary era. 7 years maybe doesn't sound a lot, but it's such a long time in tech terms, of course. And we're really looking to increase our visibility through this process. And hopefully to build on our experience of running the sites for the last 7 years, to try to make them more accessible and more usable, both for learners and for practitioners across the whole region. So the new sites have been in development since the start of this year, and we now feel like we're at a stage where we can share the staging sites with you to give you an idea of where we've got to. We are working with some colleagues who are running classes to make the new site available to learners and to get some feedback from them on the experience of using it. And it's still early days for that process, but we have got some responses from learners to an online questionnaire that we've shared. And at the moment, things have been very positive, but it is early days. And I can share some of those results with you later on in this session if we get a chance and if you're interested. But really, the focus of this session is to hear from you your ideas and impressions of the sites, how they work, and how they look. And so to allow that, each member of the Mesh team is going to present a different section of the new sites, share them with you, and then after each little presentation of that section, then we're looking for feedback and comment from you, so that we can feed that into the process, because we still are at the staging and development process for the sites, with a view to going public towards the end of the summer. So we're going to start with Learning English in Yorkshire and Humber, and then we're going to look at Learning English Plus. And with us today is Dan Clark, I think, from Field Created, who are our web developers. So welcome, Dan. Thanks for coming. And Dan is here in case you throw a technical question at us that we simply can't answer. So we're really grateful that Dan has taken the time to join us. So thanks, Dan. Okay, so that's the way we're going to progress. But first of all, we've just got a couple of little updates. First of all, from Mesh. So, Angela, do you want to tell us about what's happening in terms of Mesh presence at the NATECLA conference, which is just around the corner?
Yes, it is next weekend, isn't it? Not this coming weekend, the following weekend. So Safina and I will be there at the conference for both days, and we've got a stall where we'll be telling people all about LEYH and LEAM, Learning English in the East Midlands. We'll also have some progression pathway booklets available, and we've got a research poster this year, which shows our research journey basically with progression pathways. So if you're going to be at Natecla this year, come and say hi. And yeah, and it's Safina about the regional networking event.
I think it's me actually.
Oh, it's you, sorry.
Um, is it? Yeah, it is me. Yeah. So yeah, the other thing we wanted to flag is our summer regional networking event, which is also just around the corner in a way. It's the 7th of July, 10:30 to 2 o'clock, including lunch. And as you most probably are aware, we normally hold these events face to face, and this year is no exception. So we will be in Scunthorpe this year. We're really happy to work with colleagues in Scunthorpe to make the event happen. And as you can see there, our focus for the event is on ESOL for work and study in the context of combined authorities increasing influence over ESOL delivery across the region. And again, you will probably be aware that most combined authorities have emphasized sort of sustainable employment as a key concern, and they want ESOL to contribute to that addressing that concern. So what we're going to do at in Scunthorpe is we're going to look at a range of interesting examples of the integration of ESOL with work and study programs, both in our region and also outside our region. We're very delighted to be joined by Silvana Richardson from the Bell Foundation to talk about things nationally, and also Katie Curtis from Rotherham College and Andrea Deer from North Lincolnshire Adult Learning will be presenting examples from the region. And as I say, we're in Scunthorpe, which is part of a new combined authority, Greater Lincolnshire County Combined Authority, which, as again, many of you will be aware, is having a major impact on the delivery of ESOL. And that impact demands creative responses, I think, from the sector. So we're so happy to be in Scunthorpe, and we hope that you'll come and join us, express support for our colleagues in North Lincolnshire, and take part in what will be a very, very interesting session. And I'm going to hand over to Emma, who's going to talk a little bit about her role.
Thanks, John. Thanks. Yeah, it's just a really brief intro. Mindful that I was talking at the beginning but didn't introduce myself. And it's, as always, it's lovely to see new faces at these meetings as well as familiar ones. My name's Emma Taylor. I work for Migration Yorkshire, and we're the Strategic Migration Partnership for Yorkshire and the Humber. So we work with the 15 different local authorities in Yorkshire and the Humber. And across the UK, there are other SMPs. And there are also others who have the same role as me, and I'm the ESOL regional lead. So I work very closely with John and with the whole MESH team. And just wanted to quickly highlight our website there, Migration Yorkshire. So it's there for all things migration. So do have a look. There's a lot of really useful data and statistics there, and also some of our ESOL toolkits. So that'll come out to you in the slides. But for now, I think we want to get started with the presentations, and yeah, we're all very excited to hear more about the new website. So I'm going to go over to Safina first. Safina.
Thank you, Emma. I feel like we need a drum roll. Let me get you up. I've got the wrong point. Sorry about that, guys. I'll just put in the link up for the new our regional network event. So here we go. Can everybody see that? Yep, thumbs up. I can see. Thank you, Angela and John. Yes. Okay, so this is the new site. This is what it looks like. very different, I think we could say. I'm going to really focus on the search element, but I'm just going to quickly just scroll through, and so you can actually see what changes we have made to the page. So you'll notice there's some provider banners coming across here, so all our partners are on there. There's a little bit more about how you can search classes, easy steps, wider opportunities are on there, our IRLs are on there. So just to give you a flavour of, like, we've kept it quite clean and fresh. Just scrolling down, and then the social media elements will be there, and then with aspects. So I'm going to go back up to the top and to search class. The same function is still there, enter a postcode. What you will notice is this, we don't actually have is the mileage, but I'll show you how you can do that. So if you click on search, this is what's how the information is presented now. So you'll have tiles for the classes rather than a list that would come before. So what you'll notice is, again, it will highlight the number of classes with the providers, and then the radius of, like, within 10 miles. Now, if you do want to change that, that's where you can do that at this point. And if you click on that, you'll get a pop-up box which has got the filters, and then you've got this new sort of toggle bar where you can sort of increase the mileage or decrease it. So if we'll just, let's go down to 5 and then apply filters, and then that should reduce the classes or increase the amount. The other new feature that we have actually got on here is show a map, which is quite useful. And I do like this because I was exploring it last week. It actually lists all the classes in the region. So if you wanted sort of an overall map of what's going on in that particular area, there's actually a whole map on there, and the listed classes are on the right hand side, which you can scroll down to and view this way, but I'm not going to view it this way. So we'll pick a class, for example. Let's look at Health English Language Project. So if you click on see full details, the information is presented in this way. Now, just to let you know, you can actually print this information, and there's a section here where you can click print this page. You can also share this information, which is a nice feature as well, where you can, when you click share, it'll pop up your email, and you can send that to your client or whoever's actually trying to find the information for the class. You can pass that on to them via email. What is quite nice, and I am going to ask the question as well, I was going to come back to it. We've got the view on map for the particular class. The information is presented in this way. So you've got about the class, if they've got any other details, for example, what kind of classes they've got on, like pre-entry, entry 1, the location is sat here on the right. And then if you want to view the class, you can click again, view on map, and it will actually give you the map of where to find the class. You can click on travel by, so there's 3 options. So you can have, if you're traveling by car, public transport, or by walking, and it'll give you the actual directions for each one, and then you can click get directions here, and it'll actually load it. At the bottom, you'll notice there's actually directions of how to actually access the class. So I think that's a really nice feature, and it's nice that it just pops up on the screen. So that's the new feature that we've got. So the other part that I think I would say is, so if you wanted to inquire for the particular provider, then you can click on send inquiry to the provider. Again, it'll pop up a pop-up screen, and you can put in the client's details, their email address, phone number, and a quick message to the provider of what you're looking for, if you're finding out if there's any assessment dates or what classes are on. Again, the information is here, type of classes. They've got whatever information you've got for the provider will sit here as well, and then you can send the inquiry. You press close, and then if you scroll further down, it'll give you more information about the provider. So you can click on find out more about the provider here, and it'll give you more details. Again, if you click on this button, it'll give you the contact details. You can click back and that will disappear, which is quite a nice feature. And then all the courses will be listed below, but at the moment there's only 1 course listed here for this particular provider. So this is what it's looking like at the moment. I'm going to just go back, which I think there isn't a back button, which we probably will need, Dan, so you might make a note of that for us. I am going to go back to find your course. I'm going to see if it, yes, I'll have to put the postcode back in. Again, because I want you to actually go through the filter feature. So let's put the postcode in, and if you want to add, so if you want to refine your classes and your choices, you want to look for a particular class, you'd actually click on this view all filters. And again, the sidebar pops out, which I think is quite nice. And then again, you can increase the radius and the miles of how far your client is willing to travel. You can search by keywords if you wanted to, or if you knew about a particular provider or they were aware of it, you could enter that. Then you can click on the days that you're looking for. So if it's a Wednesday class or a Thursday class, you can click on that. Pop back up, again, language level, you can search by class topics, which is quite nice. If you're looking for particular topic classes, then you can look for them. Who is the learner? So we've actually broken down the filters to sort of refine the search that you're looking for by qualification and other, and then you would apply the filter again, and it'd be the same thing. You'd get a list of classes on the tile bars. One of my questions was, if you can put in the chat, do you like the feature? Because I know originally we did have search classes and then how many miles by. Obviously that's slightly changed now because you'd have to change it here. It'd be really interesting to know from everybody here, that do you think that's a nice feature that we've changed, or would you want that back? So if you could put that in the chat, that would be really grateful. And anything else that you think is, oh, not sure about that, or that's a little confusing, or actually if you do like the way it looks and how it's presented now, the information, because the idea was to just make it really clear and make the steps easier as possible. So I'm going to stop sharing, and actually I'm going to leave sharing so that if you want me to explore any aspects, and I'm going to pass it over to the group, and if there's any questions, if you can raise your hands or put it in chat, and then I can have a look.
Looks like we've got a few people putting questions in, Safina. Oh, yeah.
In chat, can somebody shout them out, please? Because I'm sharing.
So we've got one from Charlotte Godwin. We search simply by student postcode and then find the nearest possible that's suitable. That's maybe because we're central Leeds, lots of local options, so distance not usually a big issue, so that's okay for them. And we've just got someone else typing at the moment, Safina. So just give them a second. And if anyone else has got any questions or comments, you're welcome to type in or just raise your hand. Okay. Okay, so we've got, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly, Almi. The look of the homepage is very formal, neat and tidy, which is great. And the location search area is also wonderful. That's great. That's lovely. We've got a few more people typing. So we'll
Shall we wait, or should I? Because I'm conscious of time, you see, so I can stop sharing and we could answer.
Okay. There's just, should we just do Dan from Feel Created has just put in a question for everyone.
Yeah.
A question to check with people. Does 10 miles seem okay as default distance, or do you think this should be lower or higher? So I don't know if anyone's got any feedback about that distance. Is 10 miles okay? Nothing coming through, but I mean, do feel free to answer Dan in the chat, and Charlotte's saying they're enjoying the new website. But yes, for now, shall we move on? Thank you very much, Safina. That's really interesting. And shall we go over to Mary, who's going to talk about the information resources for learners, I believe.
Thank you very much, Emma. So I'm just going to share. Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
Before you start,
yes.
Can we, before you start, Mary, Syra, would you mind going on to mute, if that's okay? No, thanks a lot.
Right, thanks very much. So, hi everybody, I'm Mary, and I'm going to introduce you to the information resources for learners, which are found here on the front page of the LEYH, or the Learning English in Yorkshire and Humber website. So these are resources which are carefully produced by MESH to be specifically of interest to ESOL learners and those supporting them. So we've got the front page here, as you've just seen from Safina, and we've got the search bar. Now, if you move down past the search bar and past the carousel, as you saw before, you come to 3 tiles or boxes, and the right-hand tile is important information for new migrants. And this is what we call it information resources for learners, but to present it to learners, important information for them. So you click into that and we land on the information resources for learners page. Okay, and this is a page that is on the existing LEYH website. It just, you know, looks fresh and different in our new refresh. And we at Mesh are always adding to these resources. So currently we have 7 here, and they are represented in these 7 tiles or boxes. So just slowly move down.
She's not a single mum. No, but there's another.
Do you want to mute?
Down Sabina. Yeah. No. So maybe we need
Sabina,
and her surname
It's
is
Kate.
totally different.
Kate Saunders.
And maybe we could mute.
Yeah, she's done it. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks very much for that. So yeah, we've got 7 information resources for learners here. And also, as Safina said, just to stress, we're asking people to give feedback on this this presentation. So if you see something you want to ask a question about, or you've got a comment about, you think it could be presented differently, there'll be space in a couple of minutes just to ask those questions. Okay, so I'm just going to show you what these, tell you what these all are, and then open one of them to give you a little bit more of a deep dive. So the first one we've got here is Introduction to ESOL for New Migrants. As it says on the tin, it is what is ESOL for new migrants and those supporting them. So that's a really important resource. They're all important resources. The next one is support for migrant health professionals. If you've been a doctor or a nurse, etc., in your home country, this is for you. And this is ESOL reading books from our Exploring and Belonging pilot projects in Hull and Huddersfield. And we've got a Going to University guide. We've got a volunteering guide. And we've got a latest migration information guide for BNOs and Ukrainians. The information resource for learners that I want to show you is this support for LGBTQ+ migrants. So I'm going to use this as an example of what our resources are like, because they do all sort of follow a similar sort of format. So if we click into this, it opens, we click into it, and yeah. And then there is the landing page for that resource. And then there's an introductory paragraph there about what you're going to find. Okay, as in many of our resources, we've got slideshows here. So in the LGBTQ+ resource, we have 3 slideshows on 3 different topics. It's a big topic. Here we've got finding LGBTQ+ community. Now I'm just going to open this one to give you an example of what it's like. So it opens in a new tab. And here you can see that the information is, it's in a clear font, easy to read. It's in clear, simple English. There are lots of pictures and there are lots of links which are local to Yorkshire. So you can see that as an example. I'm just going to close that one and go back to the information for resources for learners, the information resource itself. And then as we go down, interspersed with the slideshows, we have some videos. This one's about the history of Pride. We've got our second slideshow here, which is about LGBTQ+ rights. Then we have another video, which is about a lesbian from Zimbabwe who sought asylum in the UK, and that's her story. And then we have our third slideshow, which is mental and sexual health. Then in this particular resource, we have words and meanings. I'm just going to open this, and because perhaps some of these words are unfamiliar to learners, we have a list of the words, their meaning, and some audio, which I don't know if this will work. There you go. So that's the audio there. So that, hopefully that's quite useful for people. And then as we go down this resource, we've got links, and we have links on all our resources. These are They're local and national, some of them. And they are, let's have a look at this particular one, Peter Tatchell Foundation. It's live, it's working, it's relevant. There you go. So we'll just close that and go back to the resource. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just go back to the front page and just recap that from the front page of LEYH, you go down past the search bar, past the carousel, to the tiles, and it's the pink tile for information resources for learners. So if anyone's got any comments or any questions, you can either put your hand up, shout, or write it in the chat, and we'll answer those for you now. Thanks very much.
Thanks so much, Mary. That's great. Really interesting. I'm not seeing any comments come through at the moment, but of course people can continue to type as we move through. I've just got someone typing a comment at the moment. But next we're going to go across to John, and John's going to move on to talking to us about Learning English Plus. Just on mute, John.
Muted.
Oh no, John's stuck on mute. It's like lockdown.
I'm not. I'm here.
Oh,
I'm here. I'm just getting myself into a bit of a tangle with the different pages I've got open. That's all. Yes, I am going to introduce you to LE Plus, which means I need to share my screen. Get there step by step, slowly but surely. Here we are. Okay. I hope everyone can see that okay. So that was Learning English Yorkshire and Humber, and the information resources for learners that Mary presented there. Jumping across now to Learning English Plus. So this has, again, you probably know, is our other main site. So Learning English Yorkshire and Humber is sort of learner facing primarily. Learning English Plus is practitioner facing and stakeholder facing. It's about supporting the sector. This is the new look site. As you can see, it is quite similar, luckily, to the new LEYH site. It's all in there on the front page. At the top, you can find our 3 gateways to our 3 familiar resources on Learning English Plus, the Teaching Resources Hub, the Staff Room, and the Teacher Training and Support lists. We've also got our new resource on getting into ESOL teaching there. Much like the LEYH site, we've got some endorsements from people which show the value of this site, and different links, so direct link back to the providers pages, socials, and so on. And so I am going to just show you briefly the staff room, I think. Because Angela is going to show you the teaching resources in a minute. So the staff room follows one of the key principles of the new site, which is to prevent us from having long lists of things to scroll through. So whereas in the old staff room, you just hit the staff room and you just get a big list of things, pages of different entries. Here, the front page of the staff room is relatively short because the entries in the staff room are now divided into different sections, different hubs, if you like, which present different elements of the staff room resource. Here you can see, for example, we've flagged the jobs facility of the staff room. So if you go into jobs here, then you'll find, much like what Safina presented with the main site, tiled information on different jobs. across the region of interest to people involved in ESOL. So we update this on a regular basis, and you just need to hit the button there and it'll take you out of our site to the job page on the WEA or Calderdale Council or wherever. So that is there. Now, if I go back to the staff room page, then at the moment we've got separate gateways for news and for events, and then below we've got a separate gateway for useful links. And in exploring this, we're just wondering about how to develop this. So your views would be appreciated. So if you go into news, for example, you can see in here familiar news about what's happening across the region, Refugee Week timetable, for example. There's a note about this very event that we're in now. But we kind of feel that notes and events, news and events, there may be some kind of crossover demonstrated by this. And we're wondering whether this is a valuable way to present things. And we're thinking at the moment that one way to develop this is rather than just having a split between news and events, having two separate gateways here, one for mesh news and events, so things that are coming from the mesh team explicitly, and then a separate regional news and events for things that are contributed or put on by other organizations across the region. So that's one question that's open at the moment. Another one really is about this section here, the useful links section. So we're realizing now that this is on here that actually a link to trusted organizations and reference resources across the region may be a useful resource, but actually this is not yet in place. Really, if you go into this section, it is a list of links, yes, but to a range of things such as events, articles, and projects and so on. So another question we have really is about whether it is a valuable resource to have here in the staff room to present a list of trusted organizations and reference resources. And if so, what kind of things would you anticipate having in that section? Okay, so just very briefly, I'm going to go back to the homepage of LE Plus and just briefly show you the ESOL Teacher Pathways resource. So we launched this late last year, I think, and you'll find it on the existing LE Plus page now. But obviously in the refresh, it has been restructured. So here we are. This is the introduction to the Pathways into ESOL teaching resource. And you'll find here just an explanation of what you'll find in the resource. And then at the top, we've got our search field, much like the main LEYH search field, but this one is just for teacher training courses, basically. So if I put Todmorden in, which is where I live, you search classes, and this will then, take you to a list. For me in Todmorden, since I'm right on the edge of the region, it's a relatively small list of two things because I'm within 10 miles. But if I, like Safina, bring this up to say 30 miles, shall we say, and apply the filters, then you will see there's a range of different provision around the area, a lot of it in Bradford or Leeds, predictably, but also in Halifax, so Calderdale College. So if we go into the level 4 Sir Ed, you can find details of the course being put on by Calderdale College. You can also view it on the map in this way. see how to get there and so on in that kind of way. Then if we go back then to the teacher pathways, then you'll find that in addition to that, we have a number of different hubs which present different aspects of the resource. So here you can find classic sets of slides, much like what Mary presented, just to flag this, as well as going to the main resource on these pages. You can preview the resource. So if you come down here, this will create a pop-up which will just preview the slides for you so that you can see things quickly, how they work and so on. And that goes for the IRLs as well. Close that. And then if we go back to a different tile, this is an interesting representation of a table about the ESOL qualifications. So we've redesigned this on a level-led basis. So you choose the level that you're interested in finding out about, and then you simply hit that level, and then you'll find out both examples and explanation of what a course at that level will provide to you and whether it's appropriate for you and so on. And then finally, let me just also, we can't leave without flagging the stories section. So in here, really valuable is a range of different videoed interviews with Samira, curriculum team leader at Rotherham College, with us, if you're interested in hearing from us, and then vitally also from Hayley and Esther, who are in the business of recruiting ESOL teachers. You can just play the videos, which will enable you to hear from the horse's mouth about what you need if you want to get a job in the sector. So that's the teacher pathways provision as it stands. This is the front page of LE Plus, and I'll stop there.
Thank you so much, John. That's
questions?
amazing. Thank you. So much information on there, isn't there? So the comments we've got in the chat, Andrea asked when the new website was going to go live, and Angela's told us aiming for the end of summer before term starts in September. Thanks for that. And Yulia has said really like the new options and how the website is looking now. So do please keep putting in any comments and questions and we'll be able to get back to you. But for now, let's pass over to Angela. Angela's going to be looking at the Teaching Resource Hub. Angela.
Hello, thank you. Thank you, Emma. Yes, I realise we are kind of bombarding you a little bit with information at the moment. So this is the last thing we're going to show you, but we really, really value being able to have this time to show these things to you and to get your kind of feedback and any questions that you have about it as well. So I am on the ESOL Teaching Resource Hub, and I got here through the home page. So this is the Learning English Plus homepage, and I can get to it by clicking on the link at the top, or I can go down and I can choose it from here. So I'm going to go to the ESOL Resources Hub. And this is the same ESOL Resource Hub that we have on the old website. It's just laid out differently, and there are more options for finding your way to various different resources. So we've got 3 tiles here where you can kind of look for things in different ways. Firstly, it's the browse all resources, and this will take you to tiles with all of the different resources, all the different kind of topic types available there. I'm not going to show you that one at the moment because there's a lot on there, and just wanted to make it a little bit more bite-sized for you. So I'm going to go to this one, which is browse by topic. And if I go to explore our topic areas, And there's just a little bit of information about the ESOL topics and what each one includes. And then these tiles show the different topic areas. So we've got beginner and pre-entry resources, conversation and speaking, core language skills, grammar and vocabulary. And that's all part of kind of core language resources. And then we've got real world learning resources, things like digital skills, employability and work, integration and citizenship. And then specialist ESOL, things like exam preparation, trauma-informed ESOL. And if I'm looking for something in particular, say that I want some beginner resources, I just click on this view resources. And again, there's a write-up about what's available there. If I scroll down, you can see that there are the tiles there, and each one of these represents a resource. So I'm going to go to one of my favorite pre-entry resources, actually, is this the Natekla Scotland's literacy readers. So when I click on the link, it goes through to that website and it's there and available. Close that down and go back to that. So each one of these is a website that I can click through to. Now, these are the ones, sorry if you can hear the plane going over, it's a bit loud. These are the ones that are curated by us, as in we kind of gather them together and put them on the resource hub and make them available just to kind of save the legwork of trawling through lots of different sites. But we've also got our own resources. So these are the ones that we have made as mesh. And when you click through to that, you get the tiles with all of the different resources that we've made. So you may be familiar with some of these already. This may be the first time you're seeing them. But they are very similar to the information resources that Mary showed you in terms of what's available on there. So I'm going to just take you through to the cooking and food resource. So if I click view resource, you can see that you will find downloadable resources, printable worksheets, and how we can use the resource. And we've got the slides, which are available in Google Drive. So when you click there, it opens it up in Google Drive and you've got a slide set. It's a whole lesson with lots of different activities at different levels. So you pick and choose what's relevant to your learners. And that's from pre-entry to entry 3 are the suggested levels. And then you have teaching notes, lesson guidance, same thing, it opens up on a slides resource. And then some keywords and audio. So the one that Mary showed you that had the different words and then the audio of how to say that word, we have one of those for each of the resources that we've produced. Okay. So I'm going to go back. I can just click on here, Resource Hub, and it will take me back to the main page. And there is a search bar here where I can search by categories. At the moment, this isn't fully filled in. So as we've said, you know, this is a work in progress. We're not fully there yet with it. But the idea is that when you click in the search bar, you can put in what keyword you want to look for, or you can find a particular category and say, I want something about conversation. I can click on that and I can apply the filter. And we've got a few that come up now, so some speaking and listening resources, obviously reading and literacy one's coming up for conversation. It's been flagged up. These are some of the things that we're kind of going through, kind of, I suppose it's like a snagging list when you move into a new house at the moment with this process. So yeah. So the idea is that there will be a searchable, you can search by topic. If I go back to the resource hub, you can see that there are kind of shortcut boxes here as well. So you can browse by popular searches. So if somebody wanted ESOL lesson plans, you could click on that, or you can go through and again, it will take you back to the browse by topic, or you can browse by resource type. So if I'm particularly looking for a podcast, I'd be able to look for that and see if something comes up with podcasts on audio and podcasts. I don't know if you've heard of Radio ESOL. There's some, yeah, I think Leeds City College did this actually. There's some really nice interviews with ESOL students done as a podcast. It's, you know, I think it's a great resource for using in class with your own students. Anyway, there's loads and loads of things on there to explore. And the main thing is, this is kind of the same information that we had before, the same kind of activities and lesson types we had before, but it's just laid out differently, and hopefully without all the scrolling that, you know, before if you looked for something you got a big long list, whereas now hopefully it's clearer and better laid out and easier to find things. So we would really like your feedback on that, what you think of the look of this. Do you think it will help you find resources? Might it encourage you to use the resources more, to use this hub more? And we'd love to hear that from you. And I will pass back over to, am I passing to Emma or John?
Yeah, I
I'm just
think
gonna stop
so.
sharing.
Thank you so much, Angela. That was really informative. We've had loads and loads about the website there. And we've got a little bit of space here at the end of the session. And as Angela said, we're really keen to hear feedback, comments, questions, your thoughts on how you might use different aspects of the website. So if anyone has any comments, I know someone's typing at the moment in the chat. If anyone wants to put their hand up or come in, or if any of the MESH team have got any specific questions they want to ask the group, please do go ahead. So Rob's put in there, looks fantastic, very well curated. Oh, consider changing the URL to the Google Drive resources. Oh, okay, thanks.
That is a good point.
Thanks, Rob. And Kate, yes, anything to make things easier to find, absolutely. Okay, so we've got some, it feels overall very positive. I know it always takes a little while to get used to a sort of a changed website, particularly when you've all been using it for so long and you might sort of just automatically know where to go. So I know it'll take a little bit of time when the new website comes out for you. Angela, do you want to come in?
I just wanted to ask a technical question to Rob and also Dan, who I know is here on the call. Can we do that? Can we put a button in that immediately makes a copy of the slides for somebody that they can download rather than going to the original slides?
So when you share a document in Google, it will give you the object, the big long string, and then a /edit. And if you get that, then you'll get a picture of it if you haven't been given the edit rights. But if you change the final hanging slash to /copy, you get a prompt that says make a copy of this resource. And what happens then is that you will make a brand new copy of the existing resource from acting like a template. So it will create a new copy on the on the viewer's Google Drive if they've got one, or their personal account or whatever. But that way you've got your main one that you can constantly update, and then every time you want to, if a user comes in and looks at it, wants to make a copy of it or edit or localize it or adapt it for their cohort, they don't have to go through the file, download, Word, find a folder, edit it, then track it. They just they just click the copy, and that's how it works.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. Yeah, that would actually solve another issue that we've got, in that the permissions keep changing, because I think if somebody downloads it, that it changes the permissions. So yeah, that'd be really helpful.
It allows you to keep a copy of it in your shared, I'll take it this is a Google Drive, a shared drive somewhere that you're exposing out. So it allows you to keep the copy there. And if you give them the copy link, you're breaking the link in a sense. They're making a brand new document. You can continue to update. And if they, yeah.
Great.
I was poorly explained, sorry.
No, it makes sense. Thanks a lot.
That's great. Thanks so much, Angela. Thanks, Rob. And Sana, do you want to come in? You've got your hand up. Oh, Sana, I can't hear you. It doesn't say you're on mute. No. I'm so sorry, we can't hear you. I don't know why. I wonder if you can... No, can't hear. I wonder if you could try and put your question
What
into
about
the...
now?
Oh,
Can you
yes,
hear
we
me
can hear
now?
you now. Brilliant.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if it's possible to do like a video shows how we are going to search, because I think visual, if it's there's something like visually, maybe it's going easier in the website, like a short video show like how you are searching, how you are finding, how you go to different places.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, nods from the mesh
Yeah,
team there, so that's
I think
really helpful.
we'll certainly do that. Thanks, Sana. It's a good suggestion, and in fact, we've recently launched a sister site in the East Midlands, where we specifically provided that function for people, as it was a sort of unfamiliar kind of notion for them. But yeah, now we've got the new site here. I think that we will be planning to just show how that happens easily. And in addition, we're planning to have a short guidance video just to help providers to navigate their way through updating their information and so on at the back end of learning English in Yorkshire and Humber. Although it's pretty much the same as it was before, just one or two little differences in the way that you do that. So we'll be making that available to people as well.
Thanks so much, John. And we've just got 5 minutes left for final comments. And I wonder, John, if you're able to just share the slide with our evaluation form QR code. We'd love you to fill in our evaluation form. It will only take a few minutes and will really help to inform us as we go forwards. And I don't know, there it is. Thank you very much, John. That's super helpful. So if you could do that, we'd very much appreciate it. Angela, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow on from what John said about the providers area. And while we've got Dan on the call, might be able to say, will there be any, because I've been asked this by a couple of providers recently, if there will be any kind of significant changes to how they upload their information, or can we say, don't worry, it's pretty much the same. But also we can arrange kind of support calls with you to make sure that you're confident with using the back end.
Yeah, hi, thanks, Angela. So with the providers portal, generally the functionality, as John said, is very similar. The main difference is there's a bit of an adjustment to the look and feel of it, but the kind of day-to-day use of the portal will feel quite familiar. One of the big changes that we're introducing is that a provider can have more than one login to manage their details as well now. So that was one of the kind of existing limitations. So that will be getting rolled out with the launch of the new system. But yeah, generally, I think it will be you know, an initial kind of getting used to the new interface, but very much similar functionality and kind of procedure with that.
Thanks, Dan.
That's great. Thanks, Dan. And if anyone has any final questions or comments to come in with, please do. John, is there anything you'd like to say to close off?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Emma, and thanks everyone for listening to this and experiencing the new site. Some lovely comments and useful comments in the chat already. Just to reiterate on the evaluation form, which is in front of you with the QR code there. If you follow that QR code, then what the evaluation form gives you is the opportunity now to add some thoughts about the site itself. So it's an evaluation, not just of the session, but actually also of the site, your thoughts on that, any suggestions for improvements or any things you think you anticipate might be an issue. Please let us know, because we want to make this work for you. If it doesn't work for you, then it's not doing its job. So it's really important to us to hear from you so that we can respond appropriately. And that is all I wanted to say, I think, except to reiterate just that point about us gathering feedback from learners as well. So that is going on. And as I mentioned earlier, we've only had 10 responses so far, but it's early days in the process. But so far, the response from learners has been really good, very positive in the majority of cases, with just one or two suggestions, mostly around the language we're using to make sure that it is accessible for people at lower levels. And you may or may not be aware that what we try to do with Learning English Yorkshire and Humber, not so much with Learning English Plus because it's directed at a different constituency, but with Learning English Yorkshire and Humber, we try to pitch it so that it's accessible for people from entry 3 upwards. So again, if you spot things which you think are a little bit pitched possibly wrongly in relation to that audience, then do let us know. You know, it's a big site. We're constantly updating it and thinking about it. And especially at the moment, as we shift towards the summer months, and the quieter period, will be looking to work feverishly over the summer to make sure that the site is really completely up to date and effective for when we launch it, as Angela says, towards the end of the summer, in readiness for the beginning of the academic year in early September. So I do encourage you to be in touch with us about anything which you think we need to change. I better stop there, Emma, rather.
Thanks so much, John, and thank you so much everyone for joining us. This has been really useful. Again, thanks in advance for filling in the evaluation form, and if there's anything else you think of, do just get in touch with us with any questions or comments or feedback. But for now, we're over time now, so thank you very much for joining us. Thanks everyone.